Samurai Talk! We are so delighted and honored to have David, my colleague, with us today to further discuss the Musashi things and ICEE. The Chief Judge, how does it feel to be the Chief Judge of ICEE?
Well, it's an honor and it's a responsibility that I take very seriously. But most of all, it's just it's a great experience to be able to see all of these hardworking students really challenging themselves.
You like the word challenge.
I do.
Like you sound like a Musashi.
Well,
you identify with him.
I try to. Yeah.
You see, how would you like to be remembered, David?
Oh, how would I like to be remembered? That's a tough
as a
question.
white person, a martial artist, an English teacher, or what?
Well, I'd like to think that when I get to the end of my life, that I have tried to fulfill both the bun and the bu. The bun bu ryodo is sort of my ideal. That I've been both a scholar and someone who has tried to establish
some kind of a legacy as well.
Eventually.
My life. What was the legacy for Musashi? How do you think he would like to be remembered?
Well, I think he was trying to, in the Five Rings, I think he was trying to establish his ideas for a school of not only swordsmanship and strategy, but a whole school of philosophy, really.
Which is what?
Which is, well, it's one of, I think, flexibility and freedom.
And eventually he got down to ku no maki,
right?
Emptiness scroll. Why? What is that? Emptiness.
Well, this is a very difficult point to translate. I translate it as emptiness, but I've noted that I think it's a positive emptiness. Emptiness can have a negative connotation,
usually.
But a positive connotation, and I see it as something like formlessness. That is, not being stuck on the form of
I think it goes beyond that, because formlessness that connotes that you have a heart of water. Water has the connotation of a formlessness, amorphous culture quality. It has no form, no color, no shape, no taste.
Well, I think
the void
is beyond that.
Beyond that.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the one step beyond that. It's an even freer kind of existence.
Something of playfulness,
I think there's that element to it as well.
Every time that I come here, I try to empty myself, empty my spirit, mind, heart, soul, everything. Can you empty yourself here?
Well, I do my best as well. I think it's hard for any of us, but I think that's the ideal, really, to get rid of all the preconceptions and just be there in the moment.
You don't look very nervous now.
I'm not terribly nervous now.
Not terribly, some nervousness.
Maybe a little bit there.
A little bit. Do you hope that someday you won't feel nervous or no butterflies in your stomach? Would that happen?
It happens less and less over the years, so I can imagine a day when I might never feel them again. That's the ideal.
I've been thinking about that for the period of 7 years since I got a job here, and still, nervousness is my middle name. Can't get rid of it. So does the Musashi's book, your book, The Five Rings, will help you relieve tension, stress?
I think if you pay attention to what's being said in the Five Rings and try to apply that in your daily life, then yeah, I think it can certainly help.
Can you apply the same principle for those who are willing to participate in the ICEE?
I would definitely suggest that they reread their Musashi before that they come out, because the idea of being able to change, to adapt to situations, and to not become stuck on any particular idea, and to be able to move quickly between those ideas, I think is essential for contestants.
That's my philosophy as well. Have no positions. No position is everywhere. how can I translate position? 構えあって構えなし。
Yeah,
有効無効。
有効無効。
Why no positions matters?
Well, I think again, it's the idea of becoming stuck in a position. If you define, Musashi is talking, of course, about a particular stance, and originally, but it becomes more of a philosophical idea that if you get attached to one particular way of thinking about a situation and you're stuck with that, you're not adaptable.
So Musashi stated to the effect that settled swordsmanship is dead.
Right.
Settled.
Being settled is death.
Death.
And
settled English is dead.
Dead too. Yeah, I think if you get stuck on your test question, if you get stuck on your test question in English, then you're not going to be able to adapt to situations in real life. I think that's absolutely
in a way we're adopting the Finnish system of no homework, because every day is a homework. Every little action, piece of action, it can be.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
No homework. Come, prepared, unprepared. That's about it. I think your time to tell them why ICEE matters. 3 minutes.
Okay. Well. ICEE, I think, is the most extensive, all-around challenge to English ability, to English proficiency that I've ever seen. It's not like any other test that I've ever been a part of or that I've ever even heard of. It's an environment, really. It's competition, but it's also cooperative in some ways. So it requires a very, very different mindset from other kinds of testing situations. And as we were talking about before, this kind of mental flexibility becomes extremely important. The tasks start very well defined and simple, but then become more and more flexible, more and more varied, that require a lot more flexibility, a lot more creativity often. And those are things that are not usually tested. And it's arguable that they cannot be tested exactly, but they become included. And this is something that's true in real life. Real life doesn't operate in the bounds of multiple choice. There are other people's actions come into play. And this is something that I think creates an experience that's unlike any other kind of test. So more than just a test, it's really an experience, a learning experience that allows the participants at the same time to test themselves.
自分たちも自分で挑戦してるわけですね、お互いに。はい、デビッド先生は日本語の達人でもあれなんですよね。やっぱり武蔵のあれが読めるっていうとかなりね、やっぱり達人の域ですね。
いやそこまでは言えないんですけれども、まあ。
だからやはり苦労した、その苦労するときにですね、いつこんな挑戦で急に日本語しゃべれって言われたりすることもありますよね。
たまにあります。
だから準備は役に立たないわけですね。そうですね。全部英語でやるつもりだったので、急に日本でやれって言われてもね。まあ、それはその構えあって構えなし、あれはどう訳されたんですかね。構えというのはスタンスかな。スタンス、ポジションの使われてましたね。だから構えあって構えなし、私の英語哲学なんですよね。硬いスピーチの時の英語と一応日常会話で使う英語とギブゲットが増えてくるんですけど、スピーチではやらないっていうのは状況に型にはまらない。Settled English, Dead English っていうのは僕の哲学ですけどね、構えは必要だけで必要じゃない。
そうですね。
これは両方いりますね。どうもありがとうございました。道弘松本ノーネスチャンネル東京ジャパン。